There you go. That's why they're biting on the dries.
There we go. So there's a Yellow Sally stimulator. I tied up when I went up to the Smokies last year. That killed it. So look at that beauty there, man. Well, good morning. Woke up to a perfect day. You can see the sun is shining bright. It was a little chilly last night. Woke up in the middle of the night a little cool, so put my small down jacket on to add an extra layer. My sleeping bag is comfort rated at 20 degrees, so but I had a couple of layers on, but woke up a little bit cool. I did leave the rain fly open so I could see outside and see the light of the moon and stuff, so that added a little bit of chilliness, but put the down jacket on and I was fine. So slept in a little bit this morning so it would warm up. It was when I got up I got cell coverage here. It was 36 degrees in the town closest to here, but it's probably a little bit colder here. No frost or anything, so slept in a little bit, and you know, had the breakfast and the coffee. So I'm gonna hike down the creek, probably about a mile, and then fish up. I should get a good 6 to 7 hours of fishing in today before I pack up and head home, because there's a 2-day storm coming in sometime in the morning, you know, daylight morning. So that's why I adjusted this trip, you know, so I can get 2 good days in here. So but love this campsite. Discovered it on another trip in this area back last year, so decided to pick this creek this time and go seek this spot out. So it was really great. I have to show you what's behind the campsite. If I really wanted to, I could just start here. So yesterday, I walked down, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a mile, and then fished all the way up and got out of the creek here. So, that was my breakfast spot this morning. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see a little bitty, I would say maybe some caddis. So I'm thinking an elk hair caddis or a stimulus would work well. I'm gonna do a dry dropper since it's still early in the morning and see what happens. But one of these days I'm gonna find the weather where it's 4 to 5 days absolutely perfect and spend a whole week out here. Try to fish this whole entire backcountry creek, at least as far as I can do it. All right, let's go fishing. All right, pretty disappointing start of the walk out. So I was rigging up my rod at the campsite, you know, just left it put together other than the fly on it, because my last cast of the day I got hooked underneath a tree in the water, and I was able to just cut the fly off, and then the line just pulled through. So I picked a spot that was not so great hiking out of the creek through just a mess of rhododendrons, and somehow the tip of my rod came off. And it was getting close to dark yesterday, so you know, I couldn't quite, you know, see that well. So somehow it came off. I didn't notice it last night. I have a moonshine rod and it's brown. You can see it. I mean, it's like the same color as other trees. So I've been looking for about 10 minutes all around the campsite. I leaned it up against a tree. I didn't see it. I'm hoping it's in there. And maybe when I pulled it out this morning, it was leaned up in, you know, kind of, and the tip pulled out then. But anyway, one good thing about the moonshine rods, they give you 2 tips. So I did bring 2 rods back here in case I wanted to carry both of them. But anyway, glad I had that other tip. So just dropped it on, and you know, if I don't find it, oh well. I learned a lesson. Keep that line tied with a fly on it as you're hiking out, and hook it to the eye of your rod, just like all of us do. But anyway, a little disappointing to lose that extra tip, but oh well. things are gonna happen, but you just gotta forget about it and just move on. I was just thinking about losing that rod tip yesterday. You know, the wind was blowing so hard, and the whole time I was casting into the wind, you know, fishing upstream, and that's the way the wind unfortunately was blowing. So I was casting so hard to get the fly through the wind, and I'm sure that's what happened. It got loose, and then when I was going through that thick canopy of rhododendrons, it somehow caught, and I never noticed it because it was getting a little dark. So very disappointing. But anyway, all right, I started with the Frenchie on the dropper. I mean, with the dry dropper rig. I think I'm gonna go to something simple, a pheasant tail. It's a little small 18 pheasant tail with a bead head. Pretty natural. This one's got a loose thread. Oh well. We'll leave it on there anyway. Give it a little bit more character. I'll clip it, but this one may come unwind, but oh well. It doesn't have to be pretty to catch some fish. We'll check it after a bit. I'll switch it out if it gets too bad. We'll fish these pools. I'm just started fishing about 15 minutes ago, and no hits at all yet. Try the dry dropper a little bit longer, and may just switch up and just keep changing out some dries. Yeah, I don't know how long this is gonna last, but anyway. Here we go. Oh, lost him. Look like a little brown, the white belly there. All right, that is a good sign. They hit on the pheasant tail. So let's go in this pool a few more. That's a little too long. That's not going to drift right. Okay. Last few minutes, I've had two browns bust this big foam hopper, which is, you know, for fishing for these small wild browns out here. I mean, yeah, they certainly got a big enough mouth, but it's gonna be hard for them to take it, and they're not hitting. Just had the one brown I had earlier take the nymph. So I am probably going to go all dries in a few minutes. Just going to hit a couple of these deeper pools. There we go. There we go. Got him that time. Yeah. He took the nymph. All right. He's not a big one. He's not a big one, but He's a beauty. And the challenge of catching these wild fish in this crystal clear water. Let's let him go. Threw the hook out. There we go. Beauty. Switched up to dry fly. Second spot. Pretty decent size. There we go. Yeah. So there's a Yellow Sally stimulator. I tied up when I went up to the Smokies last year. That killed it. So look at that beauty there, man. All right. Dry flies, I think, are the ticket today. Let's get him back in the water. Oh, whoa, whoa. There we go. Whew. Oh, he's going down. That's the biggest one of the trip right there. I'll wet these hands. Yep. Oh, that was so pretty. That was so pretty. All right. Let's get him back in the water. All right. That's two in the same spot.
Another great pool here.
I love it.
Hide behind these rocks.
Wind's blowing again though. Wind's killing me. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. Oh, he is nice. I'll be lucky to keep him. Oh, shit. Oh, that was beautiful. Come on. Man, that was awesome. Let the hand in here. Really nice. There he goes. Beautiful place. Well, I think I'm going to lose my yellow Sally. I don't think that one's going to break away. Oh well. Just have to tie up another one. Well, I didn't lose it. I found about a 10, 12 foot long stick and was able to get it out. So very happy with that. I want to finish the day with this.
There you go. That's why they're biting on the dries. I had one land in front of a rock a few minutes ago on me.
some people ask, why do I come out here and camp by myself and hike way back into the backcountry? Well, I actually love it. And so what started it? Well, I always wanted to fly fish for mountain trout. From South Louisiana, grew up hunting with my father, fishing with my two grandfathers, but fishing with them was a blast. But we just used a cane pole, crickets and minnows, went out to some of the rivers of the Chaffalaya Basin, and just had a good old time. We catch bluegill, by the hundreds, catfish. Then I moved to North Carolina, and I was like, we got mountains here. I got to get a fly rod and learn how to do this. So I bought a combo kit from Cabela's, and taught myself on the ponds. I actually had a pond in my subdivision right across the street from my house. So I learned to cast, just catching bluegill in that pond, and then I would go out to some of the big lakes and reservoirs in the Chapel Hill area, and started getting comfortable casting. And then I did my first trip to the mountains, just rented a hotel room and did a little bit of research, but just found some creeks and fished, and I caught one fish the first time I went, and it was great, But anyway, I was hooked, getting out on the mountain streams. That was awesome. I mean, that was probably 15 years ago maybe. And then twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall, I would rent a cabin and go up fishing. I did have a buddy, and he would come occasionally with me, but work and stuff like that was hard to get a line. But of course that got expensive, and buying a cabin just wasn't in the cards. So I think about 8-9 years ago, I said, I'm gonna buy a tent. If I get a tent, then I could go to campgrounds and for next to nothing, and I could go fishing a lot. Not that far from Chapel Hill up to the mountains, depending on where you go. It can be 4 hours or 7 hours. But anyway, I bought a tent. That's all I needed to get started, and I camped in small campgrounds. That's mostly what I did. And then I said, this gets difficult when you start going to streams that are in the backcountry. You have fishing places along the forestry roads, different places here and there along roads. That's easy. You just go drive there and you get out and you fish, and you get back in your vehicle and move. Well, then I started exploring the backcountry creeks. Well, staying at a campground, that made it a very long day. You'd stay at a campground, you go drive your vehicle to a trailhead, hike in for an hour or so, fish all day, then you'd have to hike back. That got tough, and you wouldn't get as many hours of fishing. And I said, well, hey, what if I just started hiking in with everything on my back and camping along some creek in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and then I could get a lot more fishing in, be a different experience. You had to get a little bit comfortable being out in the middle of the wilderness, I guess. But after I did it the first time, man, I was hooked. I had to buy some extra camping gear. I had a backpack, but it was very, very heavy. I had a tent. It was a 2-man tent, but it was not a backpacking tent. So did, I think, 2 trips with that gear, and I was like, okay, this is too much weight. I think I was 50 pounds in both trips, and that was hard work. So got a backpack, got a stove, you got a few other different things, got a super light sleeping bag, a down sleeping bag, a good sleeping pad, pillow. So now this is what I prefer to do, is hike into the backcountry, stay for 2 nights, maybe 3 nights, and there's nothing like it. It is it's absolutely awesome. And you know, I've stayed at campgrounds that had bear problems. I have, you know, one video back in the fall where, you know, I had a bear that would just drive me crazy. But yeah, I know there's animals, there's bear out here, bobcats, things like that. But when you're out here, you know, they're so scared of you. And I'm very careful, you know, with my food. And, you know, I always bring a bear bag. You can see the orange one here. And I go get a rope and some cordage and throw it up in a tree, and a couple 100 yards away, or when I'm close to the creek like this, I try to find limbs that are hanging over the creek, and we'll just go hook it up in a limb hanging over the creek. Rhododendrons work very well. They got small branches. You know, a bear's nothing's gonna go climb on those small branches, and hanging above the creek, and it works out very well. Anyway, this is kind of just the start of, you know, where all these adventures take me, because you can hike into the backcountry here, all over North Carolina, and then I look forward to making some trips out west to, you know, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, and doing the same thing out there. So, but anyway, thought I would share how I got started in this, and I'm really loving it. So it's a wonderful thing. All right, this trip is just about done. Got the grueling hike back. About 6:30 in the evening, so just did a one-nighter. Got to go back to the office tomorrow, earn a living. Maybe I'll do this for a living one day. But anyway, really good trip. So glad I did the one-nighter, because it's going to rain all weekend, so I just stepped it up a day. So anyway, thanks for checking in, and stay tuned for more adventures in the future.